Bless up, everybody.
Thank you for rising us up this morning, oh God. Thank you for everything that you've done for us in the past, everything that you're doing for us right now, and everything that you'll do for us in the future. Take control of this moment, oh God. Have your way and let your perfect will be done. Amen. So make we start with a prayer, yo. The bush a burn, now I don't stop fire now. Me hear the word come me move, kinda higher now. Spiritual war, I feel ready, can't tire now. People make we start with a prayer, yo. And if you still a feel that one, you know. Me a device, but Jaja a the power, yo. Spiritual war, I feel ready, can't tire now. So make we pray for the demons. Them out a road naked and a pre-man. Purpose mislead, distraction. Ultimate life goal conversion. Oh God, make we stay in the word, man.
Greetings. Roots Reggae Hub Massive. We are live to air on the Roots Reggae Hub. Tonight is Melody Mondays. I have Karen Manti interview tonight. Bless up, everybody tuning in. I'm going to add Karen Manti here. I'm just checking all the levels. We are live to air on the radio, as you know. I'm hearing a little feedback. Karamanti, I'm going to send you an invite right now, Empress. I'm going to send you an invite to join. This is going to be such a special interview, such a militant artist, all reggae, conscious vibes. For all of you who are tuning in on Twitter, on the Facebook, wherever you are tuned in, whether you're tuned in app, Alexa, Google, thank you for joining me today. Bless up, everybody on the Instagram live coming in one by one. I see you. Karamanti, can you see me? Thank you for everyone tuning in on the radio worldwide as well. Bless up. Can you
Hang on,
me?
I'm trying to figure this thing out.
Yes,
Are you seeing me? Are you hearing me?
I can see you and I can hear you.
Okay, hang on. I don't know why I'm not seeing you, but okay, as long as you could see and hear me, I guess we're fine.
Give it a second. Maybe I will show up on your end.
Okay, I think I got it figured out.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I got you now. I can see you actually.
Okay, amazing. We're here to talk about your album recently released, Spiritual Warfare, and your new music as well. I saw you working on Minanyam Pork as well. And I want to reason with you, Empress, talk to you about some of your music, your lyrics and your militancy. The lyrics that you speak of really speak to me. You speak a lot about culture. You speak a lot about issues that are very close to me as well, and society and what I see happening in the world. You're very conscious. So I respect that. I respect you as an artist and what you stand for.
Thank you.
It's a seriousness that not a lot of people have the courage sometimes to speak of or to talk about or even care enough to even, discuss, much less in a creative form. Not even to talk about in a real form or in what day-to-day form, much less in their own creative form. So thank you for that courage in what you do as an artist in your art form. So for people that have never heard of you, never have heard your name before, maybe just seeing you for the first time in this interview. You're also right now live to air on rootsreggaehub.com. It's also internet radio, not just this InstaLive platform. You know, it's a global movement. So tell everybody who you are, Caramanti. That's how you say your name, right? Caramanti?
Yeah, Caramanti. I got the name from a tribe in West Africa, the Cromansi tribe. Years ago, when I actually used to live in Toronto, in Canada, Mississauga, really. But anyways, back then, a brethren of mine schooled me on the Cromansi tribe out of West Africa, and I fell in love with their spirit based on what he said to me. I haven't personally studied the tribe extensively, but based on what was told to me, I felt like the spirit that tribe is all about is kind of what I'm all about as well. Like no nonsense, you know, kind of fight to the death, kind of do my own thing, that kind of energy. So that's where I got the name from. And as far as who is Caramanti, I usually just describe myself to people as a spirit in a body traveling through time and space. You know, I don't want to get too deep or weird or whatever, but that's genuine, honest to God, how I see myself. I'm just a spirit in a body moving through earth, you know?
I love that. I love that you refer to yourself as a spirit, and you connect yourself to that part of who you are. You don't necessarily, you know, you can see that as almost like an eternal part of yourself. You know, this body is limiting. You know, there's an expiry date to this body. Essentially, you know, we all have a time. Sorry about my dog there.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Time of expiry, so it's interesting that you do look at that part of you. Tell me, sorry, my dog. Sorry about that. I have a small dog.
No, man, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I'm actually now starting to love dogs and cats and that kind of thing. When I lived in Canada, I didn't. And here in Jamaica, like when I just moved back home back in like the 2010, 2011, like dogs used to always chase me when I go jogging. So I hated them, you know, and I always stoned them and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
no.
now I've been like, you know, on social media where all these dogs and cat stuff and whatever, I'm kind of hooked to them now. So I'm kind of loving dogs and cats now just because of that. So it's all good, you know.
I was bit twice when I was a child by 2 different dogs.
Bitten twice?
Twice. One by a big dog when I was on a swing. And
you're from Jamaica? You're from Jamaica?
No, I was born here in Toronto, but I was bit here in Toronto. One in a park in Etobicoke. I was on a swing, and like all my cousins could jump off the swing. So they saw this big dog come in, and you know I couldn't jump off the swing yet. So I was on the swing, swinging. Them all jumped off, gone, left me, and the big dog just came and attacked me and jumped. You know, so that was the first time. Second time I was bit by a little Jack Russell. I was coming home from like a ballet class. I was in my ballet like tights, pink tights, and a black bodysuit. And my aunt at the time and my uncle lived in a townhouse complex. So I'm walking to my auntie's house, and this little wretch, she must have bite enough kids in the complex. She ran up to me and just butt clap onto my ankle, to my like shin, and took a chunk out of my shin. So I'm surprised that I have dogs.
Yeah, but in Canada, didn't you get money out of that though? Because that's Canada. You could get money out of that, no?
I should have sued her. My parents should have sued her, did something, but we never did anything.
Yeah, like in Jamaica, it means nothing. If you get bit in Jamaica, like that's it, just deal with it. But in Canada, I know you could get money. Like I know.
I wish I did. You know, I probably would. I should have done something, but yeah, nothing ever came out of it. The dog, I think the second dog actually bit my cousin like a year later or something, and then they put the dog down. Like they killed the dog after.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No kids.
Okay.
But tell me about your childhood growing up. How was that? Your youth.
I mean, I grew up with my dad, with a single dad, you know. So, and that's probably now as an adult is probably where I'm having my childhood is having the most impact on me because the kind of music I make now, I make it because of growing up with my dad and the principles that were instilled in me coming up, you know. I met my mom, that's how I ended up in Canada because she and my dad broke up and she went to Canada. And I think when I was like 11 or 12 or 13, she sent for us. But prior to that, it was just all daddy. And then even after being in Canada for a short period of time, we moved out of mom's house because we were so into the way dad does stuff, we couldn't wrap our minds around mom's way of life, you know. So I'm a daddy's girl, man. Straight up 1 million, zillion, trillion, billion percent. You know, I'm a daddy's girl to the death, you know? Love him, love him, love him.
That's nice. I love a good daddy's girl type of story because I think we do keep our fathers very close to our hearts if we do have them in our lives. So I'm glad that you had that strong influence of a father. Father's Day did just pass.
Yes, yes.
So I did take the time to big up all the fathers on my Insta. I was away, you know, too. I was traveling, but I did try to take the time to big up all the fathers out there because, you know, I don't like the disrespect that some, you know, fathers get, you know, by some women because, you know, and it's just not, just as much as we big up the mothers, we have to big up the fathers on those days. Every day, you know, I say, it's time to pick up the fathers and the mothers because we don't need one special day to pick up our parents. You know, we can pick up them every day of the year.
See, but some fathers are waste man too, you know. Let's be honest. Some fathers are just big joke. Even though moms, you have the moms that are jokes too, you know. But some of the dads, them, I don't know, man. Sperm donor, you know, big man thing. Some of the dads are sperm donors, you know. For real, for real.
Oh, I'm glad you had one that was active in your life and made a big impact on yours.
Yeah, man. My dad is a king, for real.
I love that. I love that. Tell me about spiritual warfare. Such a powerful name because I always talk about the spiritual warfare that's happening right now in the world. We've seen it the past 2 years, what's been going on. And it's been going on long before that. It's just gotten more serious, more pertinent, what's happening in the world. And it was under the covers maybe before if you weren't alert, if you weren't awake in certain ways, if your third eye wasn't open, perhaps it was concealed a little bit more. But it's so blatant in your face now, the spiritual warfare. Tell me about the name and what were your creative inspirations behind the album and the music?
The idea for the album started, I was in France in, I think, 2018. I was going to head to Africa for my first ever African tour, Togo. One morning I woke up, half of my face was swollen. Nobody could figure out what was wrong. My agent lives in Denmark. So the promoter in France called my agent. He told him what's happening. He asked me what I wanted to do. I said, all right, send me to Canada, not Jamaica, because my mom lives in Canada. My mom's a nurse. So I said, I don't know what's going on. I feel fine, but my whole left side of my face is like whatever. So went to Canada. Nobody could figure out what's wrong. Came to Jamaica. Nobody could figure out what's wrong. I actually, long after, learned that I have some nerve sickness or whatever. But going through everything, I felt like I was under some sort of spiritual attack. You know what I mean? There were days when I couldn't talk. Literally couldn't talk. People would call me and I would lie and say I would text and say, something is wrong with my phone. If you talk to me, I won't, I can hear you, but you won't be able to hear me. But I was lying because I just couldn't speak, you know? And it's a series of things. I'm just summarizing it now. It's a series of things that I honestly felt I was under some spiritual attack. I still feel so now, even though physically I am feeling a lot better, but there's still areas in my life where things are going on. And that's where spiritual warfare came from, you know, like going through everything. I made some commitments to God. I had to. You know, like things will happen in your life where there is nothing else you could do. There's nowhere else you could go but to God himself. The way I put it when I reason with people is like when the devil come attack you, the one person who can help you is God, period. I don't care who you are, what you believe, what you don't believe. If the devil come for you, there is one answer, and that's God, period. If you don't have God when the devil comes, you're done. I don't care who you are, what you think, what your religion, what your whatever, that's just life. So I felt like an energy, a force was trying to do something to me, and I went to the opposite of that force. So I felt like a force of evil was coming at me. I went to a force of good. Going through that, and then after making that commitment and saying, okay, if you fix this, if you make it so that I can talk, I promise you, when I write my words, people will feel and know that it's inspired by you. Like people will know you through me. And I made the commitment, and I'm a woman of my word, so I'm doing my part. So my words are very, my lyrics are very spiritual. You know, people tell me all the time, sometimes the producers, when they want me to voice and they're ready, God, you always talk about God, babes, I'm God myself, period. Because when I'm down, none of y'all could help me. Nobody could say my pops that I love with everything in me couldn't help me. I had to go to the source of life. So now that I'm good, I give everything to the source of life, period. That's it. That's spiritual warfare. I get up and I fight it every single day. Doing this interview it was like a battle to be here, be on time. You know, just everything in my life is like a battle, but that's how it is. If you start saying God, everything becomes a war. If you don't say God, if I was the kind of artist where I was, skin out and take it and gunshot and bomb, my life would be sweet. I'm telling you, because I'm a writer. I could spit the lyrics to do it, but because I'm saying God, it's a struggle, but it's good. We here for it, you know?
Oh man, that says a lot. And I find a similar struggle. Like sometimes I get into reasoning with someone and we get into a topic and we get some disconnects, you know, like all of a sudden things are gone and I'm like, oh, what is, you know, it's like we get into some topics and it's like there's interference or the Wi-Fi I drop out or, you know,
right.
Something happened underneath, you know, and wow, that story just is giving me the goosebumps.
The idea is to silence you. That's the idea. The idea is to, if you keep the conversation shallow, if you keep the conversation basic, you will have no problems. I'm telling you, whoever you're speaking with, if you keep it just like some surface stuff, smooth sailing, man. If you go deep, if you talk about things that will wake the mind and challenge people's thought process, you're gonna have problems, and you gotta know that. And it's real. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what people gotta get. It's real. You know what I mean? It's not no bubblegum thing we're dealing with. It's real. Like, there's a force, there's an energy in the earth that is bent on bringing everybody to their lowest form. The Bible says kill, steal, and destroy. Me, I say bring to the lowest form. The opposite of that energy wants to bring you to your highest form. You know what I mean? Life, and life in abundance. So, you know, you got to choose. It is what it is, you know? Yeah, man.
Yes, respect for sharing that. Tell me about, I saw some videos coming and I saw, you know, you shared the download and the release of the Mino Nyam Pork on the Natty Dreadlock Survival Rhythm. Tell me about the production team, the concept for the song, and that must be a fact. You don't Nyam pork, right?
I don't. I'm fruits and veggies and fish. I eat fish. Outside of that, no bread, no biscuit, no sugar, no nothing, just things that grow from the earth. But my brethren is Jungle George. He's a producer, you know what I mean? Very talented guy. Garnet Silk's cousin, you know. He's so talented. He's been sitting on all these rhythms for years. And whenever we catch up, like whenever we're at a music something and we buck up, I'm always on him like, yo, babes, you need to do something, Ray. And the last time we buck up, he's like, yo, y'all go proud of me, I'm ready for you now. I say, what? He go, ready. I say, all right, let's see. Then I get home and I see in my WhatsApp a rhythm. And he's like, this is going to be my first rhythm, voice on it. And I'm like, listen, don't waste my time. He's like, just trust me now. So I voice the song. And to my surprise, the man gets serious, wicked serious, mix the rhythm, drop the rhythm, and he's working on a second rhythm right now. So everybody that's involved, I'm on it, Empress Radiance, History Man, we're all pumped. We're all happy for him. You know them kind of ways? Because he's from a musical family. Ernie Ranglin is his cousin, Garnet Sill. The other Hewitt, his real name is Aston Hewitt, and he's got some cousin that's like back in Bernie Spears and whatever. So like he's deep in music, but it's the same thing that you and I are talking about. Like whenever he steps up and he tries to do something, a whole bunch of stuff happens to pull him back, you know? And he and I, we always talk about this thing. It's that force, that pull of good and evil, and you got to get up every day and fight that spiritual war, man. So he's doing it. He's doing it, you know? Yeah, man.
I'm so happy that he's released and he's moving forward and he's pushing back, because it's something that, you know, as you said, when you're talking things and wanting it to talk, or you're trying to uplift your people, or you're trying to, you know, put a positive movement that is against the agenda or whatever that might be, or you know, it is what it is. You know, you're gonna find forces that are against you, but you still have to continue to do what you have to do, what you're meant to do, and still proceed. Yes, indeed.
But so, for me, nothing else matters though.
Oh, yeah.
Like think about it. Like if you're not doing your purpose, I don't know if this thing that you're doing is your thing or you're just doing it because it's something you enjoy doing or whatever. But when you're doing your purpose, when you're in your element, when you're doing what you were created to do, it becomes easier. Even though you're getting the attacks and the fights and the whatever, it becomes easier because you're doing what you were created to do. When you're not doing what you were created to do and you get those fights and those attacks, it is harder because the creator created you to do something, you're not doing it, you're in trouble, and now you're like, yo, I need your help. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, you know, but it is what it is.
So true, so true. Some of the songs that I really love off the album, Start With a Prayer, you know, that's such a great song that you have off the album. Rate You, love the song as well. Tell me, how did you decide already how many songs you were going to have on there, or like how did you?
Yeah, I wanted to have 10. Yeah, I wanted to have 10. I didn't want to pack it up, and I wanted to actually have 10 tracks, intro, outro, and then 8 songs. But my brethren from Africa reached out to me right when the album was done, and he's like, you have to include me. I think his rhythm is 3 Weapons, so I had that. And then I can't remember who else. I voiced on, I think it started with a prior, I think. I voiced that for somebody else on their rhythm. They didn't want me to use the rhythm without putting some of their taglines in it, and I wasn't having that on my album. So my producer decided, yo, just voice on the rhythm, send me your vocals, and I'll lick it over. So that's what he did. So that's how we ended up with 8, you know? 8 songs. I wanted 8 tracks. I wanted 8 songs, 10 tracks. So an intro, outro. But because of those 2 last minute, whatever, we end up with 10 songs. You know what I mean?
Blood Sacrifice and Sabbath are also big tunes as well.
Yeah,
a lot of good tracks.
Thank you.
Production on the album.
Thank you.
Very, very well done.
Thank you.
On your part and on the production team as well. I know you have a lot of different production.
See.
Tell me about your health and wealth strategies. You did talk a little bit right now that you were struggling a little bit with your nerves. Is it like something that they diagnosed, or was it something?
There's a name. I can't remember the name.
Is it
it's a
like the
weird
same
name.
day that Justin Bieber came out? Justin Bieber came out and said that he had.
What's the name? What's the name of his stuff? What's the
I
name he
forget the
said
name
his
that
stuff?
he said, but he just canceled his concert here in Toronto because his face, the half of his face and his mouth is paralyzed. He can't blink either. He can't blink and he can't. So he had to cancel his concert here. The fans are really sad. But he came out and he said, "I can Google it."
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but for me, back then I used to use sugar. The minute I stopped, I used to eat bread, like anything with sugar. So like bread, biscuit, whatever. It would flare up.
It's
The
called
minute I
Ramsey Hunt. Ramsey Hunt
No,
disease.
no, that's not it. That's not it. Mine is like a nerve thing, around the face kind of thing. I'll get it. I'll get it. I'll let you know what it is. But the minute I stopped eating certain things, it got better. As far as my like health and wellness, I train for 2 hours every day. I'm really into bodybuilding. I know it doesn't show because I'm so skinny and it's hard to
No,
gain
you
weight,
look
and I'm
fit.
trying.
You look defined, like your arms and thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to put on weight, but it's hard. But anyway, but I train for 2 hours every day, uphill, downhill, push-ups, that kind of thing, 6 days a week. And then outside of that, I just have a strict diet where I leave out meat, dairy, you know what I mean, and anything with sugar. And I don't mess with flour either. So mainly things that's, as long as it's grown from the earth, I rock with it. And then loads of water, that's my style.
If you guys have any questions for Caramanti, now's the time to put your questions in the bottom right-hand side of the question box on your screen. Or if you're on Instagram, I see 2 questions on Twitter already. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can closer to the end of the show. I do want to play a song here right now. I can't play out the full song, just so you know, Caramanti. I can't play out the full tunes because Instagram does go down after I take the interview down if I play out the full track. So I can't, unfortunately, play out the full tracks. But I like to play at least 30 seconds to a minute of the track. But I have curated a full Caramanti playlist, which I'll be playing from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. on rootsreggaehub.com. They're just songs, not just the album, but other songs of hers that I found. And I created a personal playlist of your music that I will be featuring after our interview, just for the radio listeners.
Thank
You're
you.
a bad artist, wicked artist with wicked tunes.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
I love so much of your music. It's
Thank you.
so imperative that people hear your message. So, yes, they have to keep it locked. If you're here on Instagram, you're going to have to keep it locked on the radio. There's a lot of people tuned in right now as we speak. And I know they will be keeping it locked to hear all of the tunes that I've especially selected for them. Right now, I want to play God Answer Prayer right now for everybody who's tuned in. So keep it locked here on the Roots Reggae Hub. I'm going to play that right now for everybody who's tuned in on the rootsreggaehub.com. You're listening to Melody Mondays every day, every Monday at 8 p.m. And tonight we have Caramanti in the house. All right, this is God Answer Prayer. God answered prayer. Yes. Thank you, God, for answering prayers. I see it in my life. Her auntie sees it in her life, Empress. Yes. Thank you for sharing your stories of overcoming these challenges. I'm sure a lot of people have gone through similar struggles themselves. I know that a lot of people have gone through struggles, especially in the past 2 years. Not only with physical health, but with mental health as well. For me personally, it was a struggle. So, and I did not forget to pray. I I prayed every day, multiple times a
Straight.
day, to
Straight.
get through it. Trust me. So thank you for your music that you had at a crucial time in our lives that we needed. That's a big tune off the album. Tell me something that you would go back and tell your 13-year-old self if you could.
At 13, at 13, when I was younger, when I was a kid living in Jamaica before relocating to Canada, my older siblings used to tell me that I was weird as a kid, because they said that as a kid all I used to do is walk up and down with the Bible and talk about people should be perfect. And somewhere between that period and, I don't know, growing up, I lost that. I became a different person. So what I would say to my 13-year-old self is never leave God. Never, nothing matters outside of God. Nothing exists outside of God. Nothing else means anything outside of God, it's just all an illusion, in my opinion, my experience. It makes you feel good when you're in the moment, but it's not for your ultimate good. You get what I'm saying? Like, and there's no security outside of God. You feel me? You understand? Like when to me, when you're riding with God, and this is not a religion thing. That's important. I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church. I know people should know that. Like, that's important. I'm not a religious person. I'm a godly person. There's a difference, Religious people, in my opinion, have a relationship with the church. God people have a relationship with God, So, but that's what I would say to my 13-year-old self. Hold on to God and never ever let go. You know what I mean? No matter comes what may, never ever let go. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Yes, very important. Your relationship with God Most High, whatever you call it for yourself. It's so important to have a direct relationship rather than to go through some third party.
Yeah. And you said something that I want to touch on. You said just now you said whatever you call it for yourself. So I'm assuming you're talking about whatever you call God for yourself. Am I right in making that assumption? So my thing is this, and this killed me for many years. This killed me. We have a tendency as people to want to be accepted by other people. So we base our life and something so fundamentally important as your relationship with the Most High on what your brethren and sisters think. And it's the craziest thing. It's the maddest thing. And I've done it, so I could speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done it. Where it's like, you get around your clicks and your links and whatever, and the one the people that you most admire in your crew, they hold a certain view on religion and spirituality and whatever. And as opposed to you getting to know the Creator for yourself and letting you and the Creator sort out what your religion should be, you do that based on what your brethren and sisters are doing. And that's mad. That's mad. You know why that's mad? Because when you're in trouble, real trouble, we're not talking bubblegum trouble where, boy, I want to borrow some money. And no, anybody can help you with that. We're talking life and death trouble, your health trouble. You know what I'm saying? Your mental trouble where, am I going crazy kind of thing. When you're in that kind of trouble, your brethren them can't help you. So you gotta sort out your relationship with God, your definition of God, all of that. You gotta sort that out with God. Period. You feel me? That's what I think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went all the way around to come back and learn this because I was running up and down with my brethren them, and this one I tell me this and me and listen, and yeah, that makes sense, and and it's mad because when I was sick and I couldn't speak, where were these guys and their thinking and their religion and their this and their that? It couldn't do nothing for me. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, babes, listen to this thing really, yeah, man. This thing big, yeah, man. You understand? Big woman thing. This thing deadly, yeah, man. So I just, my thing is people should know the most important relationship you have in the world, in your life, is your relationship with God, because your relationship with God is your relationship with you, because God resides in you. You feel what I'm saying? So fix that. Fix that. Nobody could fix that for you. I remember some years ago I was on tour. I was in Germany, and based on my performance, I don't know, whatever, this sister come up to me and she's asking me what her religion should be. Nobody outside of you can fix that for you people. Like, that's on you and God, period. That's a personal, private thing, you know? Sorry, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get emotional. Excuse me, we don't know. Sorry,
No,
but
I love that. I love that. It's so true. Nobody should be able to, that's the thing too, why I don't like the recruitment strategy of some religions, like the whole, like, pull in and, like the whole, none of that door-to-door thing. It's just like, like there should be, something should call you to you, or you should be looking within, not without, to external resources or outside, thing, external validation for yourself. That's why I've never really been drawn to any type of organized religion, because it's just, I had family members on different sides of things, different sides of my family on different sides of things. So that's why it was just, the whole thing just seemed questionable to me. And when I did have questions, I was told I couldn't ask those questions. And so why am I in church if I can't ask questions about history of all things? It's like, no, you can't ask African history. Like, what? Why am I here? It just didn't make sense to me. So, the best way to find God is within. So right about that. So thank you for sharing your personal perspective on that. I definitely, that resonates a lot.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about your musical mission. I think a lot of your lyrics speak to what it is, but personally, what do you feel your musical mission is?
I think I would love it if through my music people become centered. Like, straight up, like, just when I say centered, like, just get back to self, get back to real life. I find like I don't think a lot of people are living in reality right now. I think we're, you know what I mean? Like, there's this, everybody's into this vain vanity kind of vibes that's just not real, like, and I don't get it, So my thing is I try to keep things practical. Hopefully when people listen to my music, they just get back to what's real. I don't know how best to say it. Like, I don't know how best to say it. I live a celibate lifestyle, and I put it in my music, right? Everywhere I go, like, that's a weird thing nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a kid. Back in my days when I was growing up, if a single woman said, okay, she's living a celibate lifestyle, she was celebrated. She was respected. But in this day and age, how we live, sex is like one of the gods that everybody worships. So, you're living a celibate lifestyle. Oh, you're weird. You know what I mean? Like, you're something is wrong with you. This is how mad the world is now.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Babes, listen up, man. I don't want to get these. I'm getting drummed up.
So deep. Yeah, that is so deep.
No, but it's real. That's what I'm trying to show you. Like, this is the life we're living now. It's like I go some places and they're like, yo, you have no tattoo, and that's weird to them. That I have no tattoo is weird. This is how we're living in 2022. So the norm is to be tattooed up and sexed up, and you feel what I'm saying? You know, like I have my locks, I'm chilling with my Rasta virgin them. It's a big deal I don't smoke weed. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the earth is gonna end. I don't smoke weed, I don't smoke weed. What's wrong with that? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's so many stereotypes that are put to, you know, to having locks.
Yes,
Locks, you have to smoke weed. I know a lot of people with locks that don't smoke herb.
Well, see, you know, 1 year, I know I've never bought herb, and I'm into this healthy. I told you this lifestyle before, where we just don't fit in my thing. You see what I'm saying? I don't drink alcohol either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess I'll be weird. I'll be that. You know? I don't know.
Well, that is interesting. That is very good to know, and it's not necessary.
The dog has started up again.
He's looking out the window. He thinks he's a guard dog. He's a small dog. Come on, calm down, Jasper. Calm down. All right, guys. I try to mute it when I hear him start, you know?
He just wants to join the conversation. Put in his 2 cents. Yeah.
We did talk a little bit about already your spirituality and your militancy. You do have a dancehall and a reggae vibe. Calm down now. You do have both a dancehall and a reggae vibe, and it's more of a conscious vibe. So tell me, where does your inspiration come from? Is it like your experiences, or is there something specific that inspires you, or is it a combination of things?
It's a lot of different things. The song I'm writing, the song I'm working on right now, I did a show the other day after I came off stage. Backstage I met, because it was like a Earth Day thing, and I met a farmer. Like there was all these people that's into, you know, that natural style there. And I met a farmer, and he said to me, he wanted me to do a project with him where I'm writing just about food. So I'm writing a song right now where it's just all about ground provision, like natural, eating natural and that kind of thing. So that's kind of how I do my music. It's off whatever, you know? And a lot of people think I don't talk about the stuff that other dancehall artists talk about, but I do. I have songs about sex. It's just intelligent. It's not foolishness, you know, it's just done intelligently. You know what I'm saying? I have bad man song. You understand? You have dancehall artists now with bad man, good man song. Yeah, I might not have no good man song because I'm not no good woman, but I have bad man song too, you know what I mean? But I try to make my music intelligent, that's all, you know? So it's just about whatever. It's just about whatever, you know? Yeah, man. It's just about whatever.
Speaking of back to the Rasta thing, you know, you have a song called Fake Rasta, and I really like that song. I was listening to it my mom was listening to it as well, actually, and that song hits hard with some really valid points.
Yes.
You know, just about like not having tattoos and certain other things, but what's your interpretation of a true Rasta? I need to know.
For me, a true Rasta is a couple of things I look at that you must have for me to consider you a true Rasta. Probably the first thing is you must acknowledge, you have to acknowledge Emperor Haile Selassie. To me, like, I associate that acknowledgement with the whole Rastafarian movement. You're not doing that, to me, I don't know, you know? So that's one. Two, you have to be Afrocentric. You have to be grounded in your African roots, your African livity, your African vibration. See? Three, you have to me, I respect Rasta men and women that acknowledge the Old Testament. When I meet a Rasta that don't acknowledge the New Testament, I understand why. I get it. We don't have to argue about it. I get it. but I really respect Rastas that acknowledge the Old Testament. Most of the Rastas that I know that acknowledge the Old Testament, they call themselves Israelite. They don't even say them a Rasta. They call them go deeper. They say them a Israelite. Fine, whatever. You know, but just based on the laws from the Old Testament, because remember that's where the Nazarene vow was written. You know, all of these are like Old Testament thing. You know, so to me, those are the three things. Acknowledge Emperor Selassie in some regard. I have Rasta virgins that see Emperor Selassie as Christ. I have Rasta virgins that just see him as a great African leader. I have, you know what I mean? But acknowledge him. Don't tell me you're a Rasta and you have you not tell me no trouble there. You know what I mean? So acknowledge Emperor Selassie. Be grounded in your African roots. You get what I'm saying? So the upliftment of the Black nation, that kind of thing. And then of course, and this is probably just for me personally, but my Rasta brethren that deal with the biblical side of life, we have a nice time when we go into the Old Testament. We really do. It's beautiful. It's nice. You know what I mean? Because there are laws written out there that when you are trod as a Rasta, you follow them laws there, you really move through earth with a power when a normal, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my
Awesome. I like that. Definitely have to hear what's that. How can you not recognize Selassie and be a Rasta? That doesn't work.
And you'd be amazed. There are people that don't. They have this one bag of locks and them don't know nothing about Selassie, and I'm like, okay then, all right, whatever.
Oh wow, that song is a big song. That song is on the curated playlist. So if you guys want to hear that song, you guys have to keep it locked here at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be playing that song as well as Black Song, which is a wicked song, another wicked song of Paramonte. That song does talk about the whitewashing of our culture and history,
right?
And the disguising of our Blackness, of our in Africa, and how they downplayed our representation there in Africa, especially in Egypt. Tell me what gave life to that song for you personally. Tell me about the Black Song, how that song came.
I'm trying to remember. I think I probably was in Sweden when I did when I had the idea to do that whole project. I think so. The thing is, back in I don't know if you'd say it's like that now, but back in the days, going to Europe a lot and stuff, that was a time when you see a lot of the stuff that you only read about in books as it relates to how Black people's history and stuff was stolen from us, I remember driving down the roads in like Czech Republic with my brethren from Nigeria, and they're showing me all these beautiful buildings and explaining to me how various parts of Africa were stolen and the wealth was invested in building all that stuff up, So this of me Black song. I met a producer somewhere over there when I was in Europe, and he's a Black guy. He's from one of those African countries, and he said, sister, put something on this for me and whatever. And I waited till I got back home here in Jamaica and stuff like that. And I made it. And then based on what I saw while I was there, which if I could just say plainly on your show, is like the raping of Black culture for profit, like the raping of Black culture, even now in some regard, some respect, you see it now, you go some places now and, they have these big reggae festivals and reggae events and just one Black person or no Black person, it's all these white reggae, and I'm not knocking all these white reggae roots band, do your thing, get yours. But respect the culture, respect our music, respect where it came from, give us our credit, and don't exclude us out of our stuff, That's my thinking on it, you know what I mean? So that's where the Black song, I think I touched on everything in that song. I think I named all of the Black gods.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Because
is amazing.
Even the image, they have the whole image of Christ, this white actor, and you know what I mean? So I was just asking all the questions in that song because I was hurt. I came from a tour where, trust me, a lot of things was revealed to me, and I came back home hurt, you know. So I put pen to paper and Black Song, and I think on that same album I have a tune with Mikey General where it's also, you know, we're going to some stuff. So yeah, man, we talk about the things them in the music, you know.
Yes, the Mikey General tune is a wicked tune as well. It's also on the curated playlist. I have over 20 songs, just over an hour of curated playlist of Paramount tunes. You guys got to keep it locked here on the Roots Reggae Hub. I'm going to get to some of the questions now because we are getting to that 9 o'clock hour. I do have more questions for you, but I will ask some of the questions from the audience first. There's one here on Instagram says, Caramanti, could you elaborate on the Caramanti people? Oh, you mentioned the Caramanti people earlier on your...
Oh, okay. Whoever is asking that, I'm going to be quite honest with you. I cannot elaborate too much because I haven't studied, and they're not called Caramanti, they're called Chromansi. It's a tribe from West Africa, but I haven't studied them in depth. What I said earlier in the interview, I chose to use the name because the little that I learned about that tribe, I fell in love with their energy, their spirit, you know. Very revolutionary, because remember now, this tribe their name became known because of how much time they would revolt during the days of slavery, you know. And me hearing all the stories and so on and so forth, I fell in love with that, you know what I mean? And so I decided to go with the name, but I switched it up to make it kind of my own. I went with Caramanti, but the tribe is the Chromansi tribe from West Africa. So I'm sorry, that's as much as I can elaborate. And I do, people send me stuff all the time. I really should go deeper and learn more, but the reality is I'm my own person. I've decided to adopt the name because of their spirit, but you know what I mean? I prefer to kind of let my spirit stand and my spirit speak, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's very powerful, and what you're speaking of as far as the raping and pillaging of Mama Africa, and still it's happening today. And, you know, and I love that some of the artifacts that they've stolen from, you know, and from even like tombs and things are being returned. They've been putting things in their museums across Europe, and finally artifacts are being petitioned and returned to their rightful owners. You know, they have the right to steal from people's graves. We don't go into their graves and steal. Here, their ancestors' artifacts that are, you know, and take them and put them on display for profit. That's one thing that disgusts me that they do. And I don't care what they call it, or, you know, and whatever they want to say it's for. It's like you don't rape and pillage people's properties of, you know, their ancestors for profit. I believe that's why they say these certain things are cursed. I believe there are, you know, and certain things happen for a reason. Like, you don't do that. And I know that some of the countries like Nigeria and some other countries have been able to get their properties back. And that's good to see. So thank you for those type of songs.
But you gotta stop and think with everything that's been taken from Black people and just people of color too. You know what I mean? Spanish people. Even listen, man. For everything that's been stolen, I will never ever get everything back. Well, it just won't happen. It's too much. It's too much. You know what I mean? Even if the physical items are somehow returned, how do you get back your dignity, your self-respect, your you know what I mean? How do you get you back? You know what I mean? We have a nation of Black men now that think killing each other is a thing. We have Black women now that think that, okay, it's nothing if I sleep with a man for money because money's it. Where did all of that come from? And I'm not I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, all of this is from slavery and whatever. But let us not pretend like slavery is not still affecting parts of our community right now, mentally. So physically, we might be all over the world doing our thing and whatever, whatever, but mentally, things have been passed on generations, that a lot of us are still grappling with right now, you know?
Definitely. Mental chains, you know, that are still shackling, you know, our
Absolutely.
people. And in some ways, the whole world, we saw in the last 2 years that it's not just our people that are shackled. You know, it's not just our people are mentally shackled. And
I think what is happening, I think what they've shared out for us, they're now eating in some regard, you know, because that's how life works. That's a cycle of life. Whatever you put out, you will get back. You might not get it back today, next year, the year after, but you will get it back. That's life. You know what I mean? You could make up your own rules and laws and whatever. That is a universal law that you cannot bypass.
Yeah.
Whatever you put out, you're gonna get it back, guaranteed. Yes. You know, so
you cannot escape the laws of the universe. That is
can't escape it. Can't escape it. Cannot escape it. You know, cannot escape it. So look at what's happening now. You know what I mean? And right now in America, crack, cocaine, and it's all communities. And I remember back in the 80s when they purposely put it in the Black community. Exactly. And now it is in all communities, you know? So it's like cycle of life.
Cycles, yeah.
Cycle of life.
I have a question from our Twitter family. I can't forget y'all. I have Jennifer Faya. She's saying, if you could pick one historical figure to be an example for Jamaica, who would you choose? I guess she's saying maybe like a heritage leader type of example for Jamaica. Who would you choose?
Would it have to be a Jamaican?
She's saying a Jamaican.
A Jamaican, Lord of mercy, trouble today. A Jamaican. Oh, she's got me on the spot right now. I'm being honest with you. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know right now. Let me roll that over. I'll say it before the interview's over.
You can think I'll say it for a minute, and I can ask you my next question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, like the big historical people. Marcus Garvey, maybe. I mean,
I was thinking Garvey, but I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know, because Garvey's teaching. I think I've got like maybe a couple of his books. Mm-hmm. Garvey's teachings is powerful, no doubt, but you see Jamaica right now, I think Jamaica right now needs, I don't know, man, these kids nowadays, I don't know. Do you know what's going on in Jamaica right now? It's madness. You know what I mean? Like, these kids need a different kind of leader. Like, I think if Marcus Garvey was around right now, these guys, I don't know if these guys would listen to Garvey now. These young people, they're crazy. They're mad. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll tell you who I think before the interview is done, though. I'll think about it. I don't know.
So tell me about, right now is Jamaica's 60th approaching. What does that mean for you as a Jamaican?
I'll be lying to you if I said it. You know, I haven't given it any deep thought or whatever, you know? You know what I mean? I have nothing to really say. It's our 60th anniversary, great. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing, I'm not excited in any way about it. I'm not feeling anything, you know, big about it. I get excited when I see our athletes, you know what I mean? And I see the Jamaica flag and them winning everything, like that makes me feel good. But outside of Jamaica, the athletes and the musicians, I don't know which other area we're really excelling in as a nation. I don't know. I know our athletes are doing amazing, and I know our music is global. It's like taking over the world. But outside of that, as a Yardie, as a Jamaican, you know, right now they're associating Jamaica as one of the world's scamminess, or do you have to be careful because of scammers? They had Nigeria #1 for scamming some years ago. Now they're bringing Jamaica up next to Nigeria. That's madness. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much crazy things happening. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, we're turning 60, but I don't know.
I guess there's still a lot of work that, you know, needs to be done, but I hope that we can find some celebration other than our athleticism. What do you think makes our athletes so powerful? Do you think it's the food, like the strong back food? Like, what do you think?
No, I don't. I listened to that interview with Shelly and Fraser Price once, and you know how we always joke and say, oh, yeah, man, this and that? She said, no, I don't eat this and I don't eat that. You know what, honestly, what I think it is, genuinely, I think our athletes are disciplined. Like, they're disciplined beyond belief. I think these guys, I remember one morning, I was coming from a show or something. I came in at like 4:30 in the morning or whatever, and I put on my phone, you know, just to check out whatever before I go to bed. And Shelly and Fraser Price just post a video, 4 something in the morning, says she's up and she's going jogging. And I'm like, 4 something in the morning. I think these guys are disciplined. I like, just crazy. I watch a video of Usain training one time. The man trained for 8 hours straight. 8 hours straight. You know what I mean? So I that's what I think about them. I think now the world recognizes Jamaica as like the one of the top countries as far as track and field goes. And I think if you decide that, okay, as a Jamaican, you're going to get into track and field, you've got this high bar that you've got to get to, because so many people before you went ahead and they set this bar. You can't come joke it out. So you have to wake up, you have to train, you have to eat right, you have to do this. And I think the kids get it. And they just make up their mind that, yo, man, I'll do it here, man. And they do it. You know, look at Sharika Jackson just what? Yesterday or the day before, Sunday. She blew everybody out the water. Yes. Like Sharika Jackson. You know, like Jamaica is buzzing all the news this morning. Everybody,
yo, Sharika. On Instagram. I was like, what?
Like, can you imagine what's gonna happen? Now we have Sharika, we have Shellian, and we have our girl them on that tier of the Olympics. So now we have 3 of them that's gonna just go and mash up the whole world. It's madness. I love it.
I'm looking forward to seeing what these women are gonna do. They are amazing. Cut up, rip up them, look like them, take charge and ready to take over the world. So maybe that's what Jamaica's 60th is gonna be all about. Who knows? Maybe that's what we're gonna be celebrating. Because damn, you know, like there was a comment I see from Steve saying 60th for who, you know? And it's so true. Like who marks the 60th? You know what I mean? What makes it 60 years? You know?
Yeah, like what makes it special? That's the thing. Like, and I'm being honest, and it's sad, you know. But the truth is, the only 2 areas I see that's doing really good is the music and the athletes, you know, sports. I shouldn't say athletes, sports, because cricket is doing good. You know what I mean? But sport. But outside of that, you know, I don't know.
Yes. I do want to play one more track really quick. I've been promoting it along on the social medias as well. There's so many good ones. I do want to play Rate You. Do you want to tell me a little bit about the track Rate You?
I love Rate You. Rate You is one of my favorite songs, period. Rate you, that's why me rate you. You are making me everything to you, stay true. I wrote that song as a dedication to the God that I serve, you know?
Yes.
In the song, I talk about just the struggles, you know, because I decide that, yo, I'm gonna rock with God, just the struggles of this this dark force always trying to pull me away, you know, trying to just pull me back into like the wrong side of living, that kind of thing. And what I've learned, because I read a lot about exorcism and demonism, and I love to read, you know what I mean? I read every day. I'm addicted to it. I'm in book clubs and that kind of thing. And what I learn about when I read that stuff, the thing that I take away from it is there's two things that the dark side of life cannot stand and cannot deal with, and that's love and truth, you know? Love and truth. So in radio, I talk a lot about love, you know, because that force, that energy, whatever it is, that force, love and truth, they can't deal with it, you know. So if you come at it with love and truth, there's trouble. So I push a lot of that in radio. I love that song. I honestly love that song, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. That was produced by Fata from Anchor Studio, big producer. Fata did that rhythm for me, and he mixed it too, you know. So yeah, man, I love it. I love that song. Love it.
Big track, guaranteed.
Yeah, man.
This is Rate You on the Roots Reggae. Keep it locked here for more. Hold up.
But if I love my wanting what is best, but I like it, I'll go with you. And of course, they know that includes ourselves. So, alright.
Rate You. Just a little snippet. We're gonna close out the interview just now. You guys gotta keep it locked here on the rootsreggae.com. I'll be playing out a full curated playlist of Paramantic music following this interview on rootsreggae.com. I'll be playing a full curated playlist of Paramantic music following this interview. It's my selection of all my favorite tracks, feedback, tune after week, tune after fire tune, right here on the rootsreggae.com. So you have to keep it locked in for more with the song, guys. Tell me really quickly before I let you go. I know I held you a little bit longer than I had planned, but you're just so real, and you're just so easy to reason with, and I just feel like you have so much to teach and so much that I can learn from you, as well as our listeners can learn. Tell me right now, in your personal music playlist, who are the artists you might be listening to?
I don't want this to sound weird, but I'm listening to a lot of my stuff only because I have to. I have to
tell every artist that they should be listening to their stuff, and if you're not,
I have to. It's usually, to be honest with you, when I'm training in the mornings, I listen to a lot of Afrobeat because it just gets you pumped up. You know what I mean? So when I'm jogging and whatever, doing my workout, I have the latest Afrobeats going in my head, whatever. That's usually. But of lately, because I've been getting a lot of calls for shows and whatever, and I have so much songs, like so much. And I love to be able to, when people call me for shows, ask them, okay, what kind of show it is, and just do my set based on their audience. So in order to be able to do that, I have to be on top of my songs. I have to always have my music in my head so I know my songs, you know? Because if I don't listen to them often, I'll forget the lyrics because it's a lot. So now, you know what I mean? I'm listening to, like, I have an MP3 player that I jog with, whatever, and it's just, I just dump all my songs on it.
I love that.
All, I mean, like tons of songs, 80, 90 songs.
I love
and
that.
I just
you have
let it,
so much music. Like I couldn't even. I've been listening all week. And I'm like, even
yeah,
before
man.
that, we were playing your music on the station, and I still went investigating because I love to do my research. I love to be overly prepared. So I was like investigating, researching. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much music. You have an extensive catalog, so it's like I can listen to you forever and ever and ever. So
Thank you,
yeah,
man.
I'm still gonna be doing more research even after the fact, and adding more songs to my curated playlist of you. But yeah, I really enjoyed reading with you, and I want to know if there's any more projects you want to talk about or events coming up that you want people to look out for, and I also want you to tell me where people can find you, let people know where they can find you on your social media.
Okay, projects. 2 videos dropping. We shot the video for God Answer Prayer, I think last week or week before, and then last week we shot the video for Minonian Pork. So both videos should be coming soon. God Answer Prayer is on my label. It's my production. So because it's on my label, I decided to invite some more artists on the rhythm and just turn it into a project. So we have the Gap. I'm calling it Gap Rhythm, which acronym for God Answer Prayer. We have the Gap Rhythm dropping soon, and I want to drop the Gap Rhythm with the video for God Answer Prayer at the same time. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but that's my hope. And then Minonian Pork, that video is coming as well. So that's what I have in the immediate future.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, and where people can find me. My website is karamantimusic.com. It's KARAMANTI music.com. And everything is there. Links to all my social, links to music, links to video. You know what I mean? Yeah. Once you go there, you'll see who I am, period.
And they can find you on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social, right?
Yes, everything. Yes.
Manti, it's been such a gift and a blessing to be able to reason with you. You're so real. You're so righteous. You have a lot of truth and to speak of, and such a gift to offer the world. I so appreciate the time that you've granted me tonight. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you as well.
Sharing this on YouTube, so I will send you the link when it's ready, and I definitely want to reason with you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And before you go, I want to say to you, like we've been doing this for a while, interviews and whatever, and your level of professionalism is through the roof. So I want to publicly commend you on that. I don't know if this is your thing, like you just tell yourself, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, or if it's just something you do on the side, but you do it with excellence. And that is rare in music, especially reggae music. So I want to really commend you. I mean, people tuning in don't know that you reached out to me earlier in the day to let me know, double check time difference with our country, give me a heads up on what to expect in the interview, and then bam, right on time you were ready to go. I am telling you, you don't see that level of professionalism in reggae.
Thank you so much for that. That means the world to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I want
and it is a passion of mine, and just to uplift our community, and especially emphasis like you and I, it's very important for me to highlight us as women, Black women, because it's very important.
And you're doing it. Yeah. You're doing it, and you're doing it well.
Thank you so much.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing it, and you're doing it well. So I thank you for what you're doing as a Black woman in the reggae industry. You know what I mean? For real, you're doing it, and you're doing it well. And I know sometimes you might feel like people are not seeing it, but you see these little things, people don't miss that. What you did today, like, it stood out to me. It's like, whoa. I was goofing around all over the yard doing a million things, and when you hit me up, I'm like, yo, she's serious. I gotta get my stuff together, It's like, yo, respect, man, respect. You're doing it, and you're doing it with excellence. What you've done today, I will not forget this interview simply because of the way you've conducted yourself leading up to it and throughout it, you know?
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the people who DM me and give me all those positive feedback, because it means the world to me as well. All the people listening, tuned in worldwide, means the world. And keep it locked for my curated Caramanti playlist. You guys do not want to miss this. It's going to be a bad hour, wicked hour of big, big, big tunes. Thank you for your music.
All right, blessings, man.
Bless and love.
All right, cool.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.